Hi, it's Charlie again. One of the things I really struggled with, and it was from the moment that I found the lump in my breast, was constipation. And I think it was just because I was so stressed out by everything that everything stopped working. So this little clip is to show you a little bit how to help with that. It's very, very simple. So on your hand, the first thing to work is your intestines. Now working this actually gives your intestines a little bit of a workout. I tend to go clockwise. I don't think it really matters, but it just feels logic to me to go clockwise. So give them a good circle. Give it a bit of welly if you can. If it's too sore, just gently touch it, doesn't matter. But always work both hands, and you can go for as long or as little as you like. It's something you can actually pick up, during the day when you're waiting for the kettle to boil or something. So once you've worked the intestines, if you work the colon, so I'm going to show you on this hand. So you go up the ascending colon, then here's the transverse colon, then on this hand the transverse colon continues, then this goes down to the descending colon. So you work it by sort of little thumb walks, but if you can't manage that, just gently rubbing across helps. So you go up the ascending colon, across the transverse colon. When you get to the other end, I'm going to have to move to my fingers as you won't see. You go across this transverse colon and then down this descending colon. Once you've done that, give it a bit of, you can actually give it a sweep, is nice and easy as well. I'm going to use my fingers, sorry, not ideal. And a nice little sweep. Sometimes you can feel lumpy bits, sometimes you can't. But that also is really, really helpful. And the last little trick, and don't do this if you're pregnant or trying to get pregnant or may be pregnant, because it's called the point of great elimination, so it's not a good point to work if you're pregnant. It does help with constipation, probably hence its name, but it's also a good pain point. So as you work up the webbing on your thumb, you hit a sort of natural V, and if you're in a bit of pain, it will be quite sore and tender, but that's a really good point to hold. So you can work it round and you can just contact it, but it's a really good point to work for any pain. So even if you've got a headache, heaven forbid, if you have a hangover, it's quite a good point to work. But it's good to hold that point. But don't work if you're pregnant or could be pregnant, because Chinese medicine, it's the point of great elimination. I like to think of that as poo, but it's not good. It's not a good point to work if you're pregnant. Once again, always work both hands. So just come up to that webbing. It's almost where you hit, you'll feel it. It'll be a bit tender and you sort of stop naturally. Then work it round and then hold it. That's a really good point to work for any pain, but also constipation. And the last point I want to show you is called there's two more points actually, the solar plexus and the adrenals. Now, if you've just worked your thumb, the adrenal reflex, it's really hard to work out to do this. The adrenal reflex, as you come up the other side of the thumb, it's about there, and you'll feel that will be tender. Now it's tender on everybody because this is your, this always becomes a little bit tender if you're a bit stressed, but it is part of your digestive system. Give that a little bit of a work. I'm just rotating my finger around it. Oh, it's really hard to get so you can see the camera. And on this one here. And just behind it, there's also the solar plexus. So all around that area there, if you give it a little bit of a rub, it helps. It helps calm you down a little bit. It helps with stress and just helps everything work together a little bit better. The other point I like to work is in the middle of the hand, and I think this is really easy to find. If you cup your hand, you get a natural indent in the middle. If you put your thumb in that indent and mirror it on the other side, so you're almost sort of like an invisible sandwich. And just hold that point. It's really calming. It's a sort of, some books say that's the solar plexus point, other books say don't. I mean, I just think this point is such a nice place to work, and I find it's really calming. It helps with digestion, but it also helps really sort of take you down a peg or two. And do the same on the other hand. So remember, cup your hand, thumb in the centre of that cup. If you can, put your finger on the other side. If you don't remember, doesn't matter, and hold that. And if you can, get somebody else to hold that point for you and do both hands at the same time. It's really nice and relaxing. It's a great top tip to work if you've got children who are a little bit stressed out. Take both of their hands and hold that point. I hope this helps.